Welcome, folks, to Murray Field. We've had some technical difficulties, but we are coming to you live with Norwood against Westwood, JV girls soccer, and we're actually coming to you right after a goal for the Westwood team. Joe Pinola and Eric Bodenhofer with you. Eric, we just saw Ruby Codrington with the goal for Westwood.
Yes, through a nice. She beat the offsides trap, and there was a nice ball through, and she just had more speed than the Norwood defender, and it was a fairly easy. Samantha Rose, the keeper, really had no chance on it, and nice run of play by Westwood there to lead to the goal.
Yeah, really good finish. These teams coming out with some good energy today. It is a beautiful day for November. We are getting into almost middle November, and it is sunny. Hopefully, getting up to 70 today. So a great day for soccer overall.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the girls probably appreciate being able to play not wearing their Under Armour or whatnot.
Well, after the snow last weekend, I guess if there was one weekend to have games postponed, it was the weekend we just had, as Samantha Rose, the keeper for Norwood, comes out, makes a nice aggressive play to field that ball.
Absolutely. I think that was number 10 again from Westwood? I think we've seen her making some of those runs a number of times there with the balls over the top.
Yeah, number 10, that's Kayla Macy. She's been around it. Number 17 for Westwood, Allison Wen, who just put that one out of bounds. She's also been buzzing around the ball in the early going, but just a lot of energy overall from both sides. That's what you've missed at home, but hopefully we see a lot more of that here in the time that we are on the air.
Yeah, unfortunately, we a big chunk of Norwood's play in the Westwood zone was not aired, so they've definitely been pretty even, playing very evenly with Westwood with the so far, and that with that ball being put out with Maggie McDermott challenging the Westwood player there. It'll be a Norwood kick-in.
And that's Livy Bedard that will take the kick in. Livy, one of the juniors, one of the leaders on this JV squad. Trying to work a little bit of give and go with Jenna Nauman there. And this ball now.
Nice ball finds its way through to Athena. Well played there by the Westwood defender, but finds Athena's feet again. See if she can make the pass through, and she does to Maggie.
Really strong footwork from Maggie McDermott. She almost was on defense trying to keep it in her own end and did a nice job of that.
Definitely.
Here's some play in the middle of the field. Livy Bedard now working against a Westwood player. It looked like that again was Kayla Macy, number 10, with a strong move off the ball, but Livy was able to push her out of bounds.
Yeah, Kayla seems to have a fair amount of speed there. I think she's someone they're going to have to keep an eye on as the game progresses.
And that's going to be a strength, I think, for both sides. But then again, we look, and both of these teams with relatively small benches. I'm curious how that may come into play later on.
Yeah, I think when I was looking for the JV roster for Westwood, it looks as though they actually have a girls freshman team as well. So I think a deep program overall, but not necessarily a deep bench for this. Except now that I realize that we must have been missing a bunch of subs standing at midfield because there
we go.
There are now 8 of them standing.
Our fault on that one. Now the Westwood bench has gotten a little bigger. There's a little table set up, and they were waiting to sub in over there. Here's Westwood now working against Alina Para on defense for Norwood. Gobbled up by Samantha Rose.
Looking for Jenna Nauman for the outlet. Closed
puts
very
her head down
there.
And tries to make a move against Maura Hennessy for Westwood.
Yeah, Maura closed very quickly on that. Jenna had a lot of space when the ball first got there, but the space went away very quickly.
This should be, from what we're seeing in the early going, a good match. Westwood has come out with a lot of speed, but Norwood's handling of the ball has been really solid. We've seen a lot of kind of like small little give and goes on the sides there, trying to get the ball in. And we have a sub for Norwood.
It's Jackie Morales Munoz, who I believe will be our second half goalkeeper. She plays defense or defensive midfield in the first half usually.
That's a great value to be able to switch into two very different roles, and to be able to do that on a regular basis is probably something that's going to benefit her overall as a player.
Yeah, and I mean certainly, she's on JV now, and what is she? She's a freshman, right? If she keeps, maybe she's the part-time JV goalie again next year, becomes stronger as a defender. It helps as a junior when the varsity coach is like, you're a solid defender and a backup goalie.
Here's the ball to the middle of the field from Lilia Shelburne, for Westwood. Norwood trying to get the ball out of there, but they don't quite. That comes out to number 20, Julia Huff.
It's Lauren Reen there, I think, battling number 4 in the center for Norwood. The ball going out wide to Kaylee Brown, who does a good job to challenge the Westwood player and knock the ball out.
And this ball will roll out. So a lot of battles early on. Westwood keeping the ball in their end there, but Norwood doing a good job to limit them and prevent them from getting a shot on goal. We've got about 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. 17-minute quarters in the JV matches. We'll play 4 of them, obviously. Westwood now trying to work it down the side into the corner. Does she keep it in? I believe she does.
Oh, wait,
Nope.
Okay, that was that was puzzling. The referee seemed to not have made a call. The Norwood stopped playing. I guess they're trying to figure out which line. I think it looks like the referee was actually a little confused as to which line was the touch line. So
yeah, and it looks like Westwood's coming out, and we'll see a corner kick, or will we?
Yep, that's they're setting up for a corner
And
kick.
it looks like that's the case. It looks like a couple players in there for Westwood, so maybe we'll see a small little give and go to put the ball in play. A pass towards the middle of the field for Westwood, but Norwood able to box that out, and looks like we'll do it again.
Yeah, and it looks like Westwood, a quick touch and then the drive into the box, and they're doing a good job of giving them the 10-yard cushion for that. Oh, it's Kaylee Brown there with a deflection.
Kaylee's had a couple nice stops early on defense, working hard against Lilia Shelburne. Here's now some more work on the sideline from Kaylee. She's been busy early on, but been up for the task.
And looks like Sophia Vendetti maybe managed to make that turn difficult enough that the Westwood player just carried it out of play. So Norwood kick in from deep in their own zone.
And we will get a new soccer ball as well.
Well, the other one could conceivably have been contaminated. So
This is true.
it needs to be sanitized and eventually returned to play.
They are staying ready and switching those balls in and out, which you never know how that might affect things, but at least on a day like today, hopefully we don't get too much of a different feel from the different balls.
Yeah, it's curious. I wonder just if, it just seems any touching of the ball with anything other than feet in soccer renders the ball unusable. I'm just curious how they're going to handle that in basketball. When and maybe some of the rules will shift a little bit as they've come to realize that, maybe the transmission isn't happening quite at the sports level, but still.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like some guidelines have been coming out as they've been talking about possibly a return to play for some other sports.
It was Julia Mace? Yeah, Julia Mace, their number 18, driving the ball forward.
A little bit of work now in the middle of the field for Westwood. Maura Hennessy now with it. Challenge to the sideline, a good play to get it out of bounds. That was Jenna Nauman working for the Mustangs. She was kind of battling her with one foot, and then a little poke got the ball out of bounds, and now here's 9 for Westwood.
Lily Bean.
Lily Bean for Westwood. Puts it in for Allison Wen. Norwood closing in with 3 players, but Westwood able to get it by. And now that's Lilia Shelburne working down the sideline against Lilia Zaldivar for Norwood. Good play in the middle of the field.
A nice little touch there to find space. Just couldn't quite catch up to it.
And there's a nice boot to get that out of there.
Let's see if Lauren Reen can settle this and find good job there to settle that ball. And look at that nice, well-weighted pass right up there to Athena, who couldn't quite run on it. Well defended by Westwood, but well done by Lauren Reen there to settle that ball and still make a good, while it was still bouncing, make that great pass. So.
Yeah, that ball takes a slightly different bounce, as that one looks like it goes off a couple players. Everyone seems okay. Yeah, that ball takes a slight bounce the other direction, and Norwood could have a big chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the waning minutes here of this first quarter, looks like we have a little bit of confusion as the ref settles it. And it will be Westwood with the kick-in to get the ball ready, again with our different rules for the 2020 season. Westwood now looking for a chance in the middle of the field. Norwood up for the task to bump it away. Their defense has been solid early on.
I think they got called for the header.
Yeah, and that's not something we see a whole lot. A lot of those corner kicks, just little movements as opposed to a big drive towards the net that somebody tries to head in.
Boom, and kick up there trying to find Lauren.
And this one, it was that appears to be the end of the first quarter. So a little bit of abbreviated action if you're watching it at home. But we will be back with the rest of this match, followed by the varsity match at 11 o'clock here on MCM. But at the end of the first quarter, it is Westwood 1, Norwood 0. We'll be back after these messages.
Norwood. Here, we are chosen at birth. Our loyalties are predetermined. And our families defined. Raised by the stories of those that came before us.
Here's a breakaway. Bill Norman, he's in back and score!
Fearlessly driven by the hope of what's to come. It chooses us. It defines us. And for us, it's everything. This is Norwood. And here, sports are in our blood.
Norwood Mustangs 2015 are the state Division I champs.
All right, welcome back to the second quarter of action. The Norwood Mustangs taking on the Westwood Wolverines in the second quarter of some JV girls soccer action. Joe Panola, Eric Bodenhofer with you from Murray Field. And Norwood has Lauren Reen doing some work in the middle of the field for them, trying to get the ball out. Allison Wen now for Westwood. Works it up to number 14. That's Ruby Codrington. She has the one goal for Westwood. Now on the side to 19. A nice play by Samantha Rose to deflect that shot and eventually corral it.
Yeah, the Norwood back line there thought they were playing the offsides trap, and it didn't quite work out. And Westwood got a nice chance there, handled well by Samantha. Here's the earlier goal scorer.
And this one goes just wide. Samantha stumbled a little bit getting there, but it was okay as the ball was chased just to the right of the goalpost.
Yeah, Ruby Codrington might have been just a little too selfless there. I think she had a nice shot on net and instead tried to make the pass to her teammate, and it just went a little wide. Teammate couldn't catch up to it. But another dangerous chance for Westwood's goal scorer there.
Westwood's got a whole string of numbers 14, 15, 16, 17 on offense. They've put together a formidable group there. We saw that was Kendall Alden with the strong drive that Samantha Rose was able to handle for Norwood.
And Kylie McDonough there with a nice job just escorting that ball out of bounds to win the Norwood goal kick.
That's smart. You never know what's going to happen with that, and Kylie did a good job following it up.
She did, absolutely. Oh, unfortunately, Samantha's goal kick just a little too far out of touch, and Westwood gets the kick in a dangerous place. See if they just try and do a quick touch and drive it into the box.
Imagine they might. Here comes the play in. Looks like they were sort of going for that. Didn't quite get the ball up in the air. Now here's Alden, but Westwood now moving in. Number 15, Anna Raftery. And this one looks like it should be. That'll be a corner kick.
For a corner kick, I guess.
Must have gone off one of the Norwood players, which
I guess.
Our view a little bit obscured here from the side, but Westwood will send a couple players out to potentially work on this kick together. Comes into the middle and a nice drive. Wow, a really good chance for Westwood.
Yeah. That was very dangerous. So is that number 15 there?
Yeah, that looks like Anna Raftery, and credit to, we couldn't see here, but whoever was driving that goal, that corner kick in for Westwood, they found the spot that nobody else was. And in a game where you can't really have the headers, that's pretty much what you have to do on some of those corners.
Yeah, no, it was well done. Oh boy, here we go.
All right, this one now a lot of work, and a player goes down.
Yep.
Westwood player coming in hard, and we heard a loud whistle. Didn't look like any malicious intent, though.
No, but somewhat reckless. She came in really hard at her, so I think I could see the ref wanting to make sure that you just sort of calm the players down.
Everyone seems pretty good. It looks like Lilia Zaldivar, number 11, that got taken down, but she seems to have hopped up pretty quickly, which is a nice sign. And now she'll get a little more space after that play. Strong boot from her. Finds a couple of Westwood players, but it gets through them.
Athena makes a nice turn. Can't quite finish it and get all the way around. Dispossessed there.
She was flanked by a couple of Norwood players, and now potentially that could turn into a chance.
Lauren Reen, a nice job with the defense making the overlapping run, and Athena saw her, tried to make the quick pass back to her, and just couldn't quite turn it, and Westwood broke up what could have been a very nice chance for Norwood. Big ball over the top. Samantha should be able to get to that.
She comes out far from that goal and has another collision with another Westwood player. This one looks like Raftery again for Westwood, number 15, and Samantha puts the ball on the ground and will head back to her goal. Nice play by her, being aggressive on that to really snuff out a chance.
Yeah, that took when I first saw it going in, I thought it was going more directly towards her. When it took that little shift to the side, I think that gave the Westwood player a better angle on the ball than originally, and so they kind of met at the ball.
Yeah, that went from not a very alarming play to something that required her immediate attention pretty quickly. But
Yes, exactly.
Norwood able to keep this at a 1-0 Westwood advantage. And now it looks like a call that I presume will go against Norwood. That's number 9, Jenna Nauman.
Yeah, the physicality there looked like it was kind of going both ways. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it was just the fact that Jenna stepped around a little bit from behind. But, that's
Likely,
a good ball over the back. Lost in the sun by
And a
the
good
Norwood
play by
defense.
Samantha Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was battling the sun there.
Yeah. Well, I think it looked like two of her defenders just completely lost the ball in the air and were flat-footed. So she really needed to come out on that one.
This one she puts up perhaps not quite as far as she wanted to, but her defenders will now go to work to try to turn this into a scoring chance.
Nice job there by Livy Zaldivar to step up and find that ball through. And Lauren Reen again coming back, working hard both on defense and putting that ball over the top just a little too wide.
Maggie McDermott, number 10 out there, had a chance if she was able to get that ball corralled. She had some space, but some really good speed that we've seen from her in the early going.
Absolutely.
About a little over 10 minutes left here in the second quarter. 1-0 Westwood with the advantage, so anybody's game. And now Westwood, number 5, that's Adriana Katzman with the ball.
Oh,
wow.
I believe she was offsides, but that's all right. That's
So far, no call. Coming
well
out is
done there
Samantha
by
Rose.
Samantha Rose. That is excellent.
What a save. She really held her ground there. There's been a lot of contact early on.
No, that was just a great play by a keeper coming out, recognizing that if she stayed back on her line, she had no shot. She had to be aggressive, and she was. Great job by Samantha. That was
Absolutely.
fantastic. Jenna Nauman making the turn, see if she can get that ball up and over. Just a little too much. Couldn't find Maggie McDermott there on the wing.
And getting back to that save that Samantha Rose just made, that's the goal scorer so far in this game. That was
Yes.
Ruby Codrington coming in on her, and with another player to her side, and that shows you a good keeper like Samantha's shown us. Short memory.
Yep. Yeah.
Give
absolutely.
up that goal, you forget about it. You don't see the same player coming in and back down. No, you get aggressive, and she did a really nice job there.
Well, and I think maybe that was not unlike the scoring play that Ruby scored on, in that it was a through ball. The offsides trap just missed, and she had a free run, and I think Samantha stayed back on that one a little bit. And this one, she's like, all right, I'm not letting that happen again. So good for her.
Which is what this level's all about. These girls they're young. They're going to hopefully be contributors on the varsity level going forward in the future. But they're learning, and Samantha did a really nice job there of handling that. Here's a ball now for Westwood. Good speed for Norwood, though.
Is that Kaylee McDonough, I think?
It looks like it.
Oh, that was a good. Oh, nicely done. Again by. Oh, and it's Samantha again with a
Wow,
save.
it is the Samantha Rose show in the early going.
Absolutely. Good for Westwood. Looked a couple times like they were going to get dispossessed. Norwood just couldn't quite do it, and Westwood managed to get off a strong shot that Samantha. That was a tough save. So Kaylee Brown there trying to settle that, couldn't. Just going back there to. Is it Caroline Boussier, I believe? She's got a Westwood player right on her back.
And she's really sticking with her well.
Yeah, just
kind of moving that ball to the
escorting
sidelines.
Yeah, escorting the ball right out of bounds and getting the goal kick and negating the Westwood threat, at least for now. That was well done by Caroline there.
Textbook defense. I'm sure
Yeah.
Coach Wagner likes to see that.
Absolutely.
Coach Anne-Marie Wagner doing a nice job getting all the different girls in there, and they seem to be making some progress as a team. Really nice to see.
Absolutely. I mean, the truth is, I think every game of theirs that I've called, they've been close. And I mean, even the Dover-Sherburne game, which ended
Nice play by
with
Sam coming out.
Well done. That was a oddly bouncing ball. But they, even though that DS score was very lopsided in the end, Norwood is actually in the lead at one point. So just the girls keep battling. I agree with you. I think they're getting better. They're playing better positional soccer. It seems like they're having fun. Seems like they're enjoying being out on the field with one another and practicing. And I think, it's high school sports and it's the JV level, and that's really all you can hope for, right?
That's the most important thing, right?
Yep.
Have fun, get in the game, and learn a little bit of soccer in the process, and that seems to be what's happening.
So Lauren Reen just couldn't quite handle that bouncing ball on the sideline, so it's coming back at Norwood.
That's 10, Kayla Macy for Westwood. We saw a lot from her in the first quarter of the game. Now a drive that Samantha Rose go down to her feet, and she grabs it. So 0-0 in net for the Mustangs. She has been really the star of this second quarter so far.
Yeah, they've definitely been keeping her busy.
This one, we'll see if it gets past there. That's number 6 for Norwood, Alina Para.
Oh, they're trying to find the ball through, just unfortunately hit Maggie McDermott rather than being able to squeak past her. But
there's been a lot of cases where that ball's come out to the middle of the field, and Norwood has been just one pass away from really breaking something open. And this one goes just over the keeper, and a nice goal. This looks like 15 for Westwood. That's Anna Raftery. She's had a lot of chances, and she finally finds the back of the net on that one. A really nice ball.
Yeah, no, like it bounced right over the Norwood defense, and she was able to get a foot on it and just chip it over Sam, and yeah, that was well done. Unfortunate for Norwood, they'd been playing really well and started moving the ball forward, but just, that couldn't quite catch up to that. So,
and that was just kind of the perfect storm for Westwood. The Norwood defender came up on her, and to prevent a ball that might have gone to the side, Samantha Rose came out a bit, and that time she got burned on it. Here's Kaylee Brown for the Mustangs, and she does a nice job keeping her feet on that one against number 24 for Westwood. Here's Westwood again now in the middle of the field. Really good aggressive foot from Lauren Reen there.
Yeah, Westwood's doing a nice job of playing that triangle, right? The ball, when they get stuck, they go back. There's always someone there to go back to. I guess they're calling her offsides.
They are, and it will be Norwood. Trying to set something up now as a couple players moving around. A strong boot from Olivia Zaldivar.
Kaylee Brown knocks it out for the Westwood kick-in.
Kaylee's been very aggressive on defense in the early going. That's been a strength of this Norwood team.
Yeah, no, they're definitely battling for every ball, right? It's certainly there.
5 minutes left to go here in this second quarter. It is 2-0 Westwood. And here's a nice play for Westwood. Some fancy footwork there from the Wolverines. We're kind of shielded a little bit from the player, as we'll try to keep our eye. And Westwood will make it 3-0 with that goal, kind of working around a couple defenders. And she beats the keeper. I believe that was number 12 for Westwood.
I unfortunately
was that Kristen
didn't see.
to do it, but a lot of players around that ball, which credit to the Westwood team, and she kind of got covered up in the bunch. But third goal of the day for the Wolverines. It is 3-0 Westwood, about 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Norwood trying to get something going offensively. They've been close, but they really haven't been able to move it into the other side of the field much.
No, they haven't. Unfortunately, they haven't really been able to string passes together. They've been, the ball's through, trying to run on, but just haven't really been able to connect that third pass. They make that first, maybe the second, but that third one's been eluding them.
Right. And once they get that, they're there. They have the speed, they have the will to do that, but so far that just hasn't matched up. But again, some bright spots. Samantha Rose, despite the 3 goals here, she's been excellent.
No, absolutely. Did a great job making those earlier saves. And these last 2 goals, that's not on the keeper.
Right.
Otherwise, when I coached, I used to say it's never on the keeper. If you all had done your jobs perfectly, the ball would have been nowhere near our net. So
the keeper should never have to make a save, ideally,
yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep. The goal of the rest of the team is to make the keeper the most bored player on the field.
Well, the nice thing is for this Norwood JV squad, they mix up that keeper. So if they don't have to do anything, they're not bored ultimately in the end, or at least so we hope. If the other previous games are any indication, we might see another one. Here's a chance now, a good hustle for Kayla Macy. She will not quite get there for Westwood.
Yeah,
really gave it a run down the sideline. She was working hard.
She timed her run very nicely there, and that ball there was just a little too much on it for her to catch up to it. I mean, you're starting to see now. I think the front line speed for Westwood is just a little more than Norwood could easily handle, and they're doing a good job of timing these runs. Like the first two goals, I would argue close to off. It was a judgment call as to whether onsides or offsides, at least from this perspective. And I'm not saying they were offsides, but it's just if you've got team speed and you can beat that trap, you're gone. So
yeah, they've been flirting with that, but doing a nice job of really just kind of using their speed to their advantage. Looks like that's Jackie Morales Munoz checking in for Norwood. I believe, was that Kaylee Brown that came off? Sometimes a little bit hard to see with the ponytails in some of these girls, those numbers.
No,
Kaylee is still there.
Yep.
We'll check in later on who checked off. But here's Jackie after getting a little bit of a rest on the sideline. Now Westwood. That's number 2, Maura Hennessy in the middle of the field for Westwood. She had a pretty active first quarter.
That might, yeah, absolutely.
I thought potentially a handball on that one.
I thought actually maybe more a dangerous play. I felt like her cleat was up around the face of the Norwood player, but much like
It
that
looks
one.
like number 20 is that Sophia Venditti took a little bit of a shot to her midsection there. She seems okay though.
Ball out for a Westwood kick in.
And a lot of contact surprisingly early on as we have about 2 minutes left to go here in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, soccer is a physical game. It always has been. And I think, earlier in the season, I think they were definitely, for the COVID rules or whatever, not allowing as much. But now this is starting to look more like a normal soccer game.
Absolutely. I think they're learning to play with these new rules, which is an adjustment for everybody, especially when you've been playing with the quote-unquote normal soccer rules for so long or for so much of your life, which a lot of these girls have.
Absolutely. Oh, good job there by Kaylee to make that turn into
nice turn by Jackie right there.
Yep. No, Maggie McDermott just couldn't quite get to that one.
Well, there's a nice ball that Westwood has a chance.
Oh.
Some good speed from a couple strikers. Here's Kayla Macy coming
and
out of her net is Samantha Rose. She tumbles and makes the save.
Nicely done again by Samantha. No fear in that kid.
No, and she has been face to face with a lot of these Westwood players.
Or more like face to feet, I think.
That sounds more right there.
There's Kaylee Brown out wide. See if she can settle this and make the turn.
Almost working hard against 16. Both players go down, but Kaylee pops up. Somehow she's able to keep that ball in bounds. Nice job.
Yeah, they're definitely letting a lot more go in this game than I've seen in previous games.
They certainly are.
That physicality was mutual, and Kaylee made the shoulder charge, and that's fine. And
here's a nice ball in for Westwood. Number 23 puts that in. Lilia Shelburne for the Wolverines makes it 4-0 as we close in towards the end of the first half. Just a really nice through ball to her, and she did what she needed to put that in the right part of the net.
She absolutely did. She finished, it was a good ball up. She closed on it with speed and just finished with authority. And, Samantha Rose was close, but couldn't quite get there. So
I think Samantha almost didn't expect that ball to come in that quickly. It was just a really nice play. I didn't catch who the Westwood player was on the side, but the one who put that ball to her, it was a beautiful pass, and Lilia just needed to finish, and she did a nice job.
All right, that is the half.
Yeah, it looks like we will close that first half. It is 4-0 Westwood, but both teams fighting hard. We will be back after these messages with the second half of action from Murrayfield, the Westwood Wolverines against the Norwood Mustangs JV girls soccer. We'll see you in a little bit.
Your home for all things Norwood, online at norwoodcommunitymedia.org.
Living Local is a new program coming to Norwood Community Media that highlights businesses and events here in Norwood. Everything you need to know about eating local, shopping local, exercising local, or even creating local, you'll find it right here on NCM's newest program, Living Local. You'll get an inside look into what makes each business unique. Only on Norwood Community Media, your home for all things Norwood.
On behalf of the Alliance for Community Media and our foundation, we want to congratulate Norwood Community Media for their excellence work in 2019. And we also want to congratulate the town of Norwood for investing in community media that reflects the needs of its people. You do great work every day and every week, and you should be proud.
It's a sign of our commitment to the town we serve. Norwood Community Media is honored to receive the Alliance for Community Media National Award for Overall Excellence. For our weekly Norwood News, hosted by Kristen McDonald. Norwood Digest with Jack McCarthy. Your Town at Work with Jerry Slater. Sports Extra with Mark Hoover and Joe Meehan. Live broadcasts of town events and gavel-to-gavel coverage of town government. The station people turn to for trusted local coverage. Norwood Community Media, your home for all things Norwood.
Your home for all things Norwood. Online at norwoodcommunitymedia.org.
Do you want to stay up to date with Norwood Community Media? Then subscribe to our weekly NCM newsletter. Every Friday, our promotions department publishes an online newsletter that highlights the work of NCM and the latest happenings. It includes the full episode of Norwood News, recent clips from NCM programs, behind-the-scenes photos, and so much more. NCM works hard to deliver a steady stream of Norwood content, and this newsletter is another way to stay connected to Norwood. To receive the newsletter, just visit www.norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Scroll to the bottom of the page, click the Sign Up for Our Newsletter button, and enter some basic information. You'll then be added to our newsletter mailing list. It's all here on Norwood Community Media, your home for all things Norwood.
Welcome back, folks, to second half action from Murrayfield and Norwood. It is currently a 4-0 lead for the Westwood JV girls soccer teams against the Mustangs. Joe Panola here with Eric Bodenhofer. As we see Westwood starting to, they are heading right to left. Left to right, it appears. In the white, Norwood heading right to left in the blue.
And coming out of net from the first half, Samantha Rose already had several plays on the ball in this to start this second half, and I believe that is, I don't think that's actually Jackie now as the second half goalie. Maybe they're giving someone else a shot. Yeah, I still see Jackie out on the pitch, so I'm not sure who the second half goalie is for Norwood this game.
We're going to have to do a little process of elimination to figure that out. But,
yeah, exactly.
Jackie Morales Munoz, one of the freshmen for Norwood, she has at times been that second goalie off the bench for the Mustangs, but she is out there on the pitch, and we'll see if we can figure out who that is in net for you. Coach Wagner likes to mix things up a little bit, which is great on that JV level, give girls a different chance to experience different positions.
I think my guess right now is that it's Livy Zaldivar.
That would have been one of my guesses, and I'm kind of just going based off the hair on that.
Yeah, no, it was the hair, the fact that Jackie is playing the position that Livy normally plays, and I don't see her on the sideline. So I'm going with Livy right now.
Well, we'll see. It's almost like we
maybe
have a
we're
little
wrong.
test for you folks at home as well. So here's a chance now for Westwood. Norwood trying to get that ball out of bounds, and we'll see who they call this one off of.
Maybe if I put my glasses back on, I can figure out who it is.
There we go. We got to get some binoculars here in the booth.
Yeah, exactly. Get some young kid to come up here and be our spotter.
There we go. Well, Livia or whoever is playing goal now for the Mustangs will kick this one away. This one doesn't get a whole lot of height on it, and Westwood will look to go to work with it.
Sam Rose battling over there. Oh, and a nice little touch ahead. Oh, and Maggie just couldn't quite bring the ball with her.
Really good play there by Lauren Reen. She was trying to work it through a couple defenders. Now a chance up here for Athena.
Oh, very good.
Oh, she puts it on her foot. Are they calling an offsides here, or
no? I guess. Oh, they're calling the Westwood defender for once Athena made this step pass. She put her elbow out and tried to slow her down, and the backside official caught that. So great, good. Free kick from a dangerous spot. Let's see if Norwood can do something with it.
Yeah, nice catch by the official there, and perhaps that's why we saw Athena get it on her foot and almost look surprised.
Yeah.
But she does a nice job with it.
Good ball through, and I think this is going to go out for a Norwood corner.
It'll be a Norwood corner, and we'll see if they can work it. We saw Westwood score off a corner earlier for their third goal, and now Norwood looking to see if they can do the same. Or I believe maybe that was their second.
I think it might have been their second goal.
And now they will work the corner. That looks like number 10, Maggie McDermott, who will take the corner.
Going to tap it to Samantha Rose, who will drive it into the box.
Good chance.
Oh, there we go, right at the top of the box. Oh, but
And
Westwood does a good job to clear.
Jackie will try to keep it in for the Mustangs, but Westwood now with a chance. They send up their offense.
Jackie really needs to turn around and see Ruby, the goal scorer, is running neck and neck with her, right behind her. And
really nice hustle by a couple of the Norwood players, though. Kylie McDermott running towards that sideline, and I can't quite catch the number of the girl with the ball right now, but she was able to get over there quickly as well for the Mustangs.
Yeah, they closed that down. There definitely was a breakout from Westwood, and
that was a chance. And we know Westwood's offense. We learned very quickly in that first half that they're dangerous. They have a lot of speed. But the Mustangs, we saw a chance now early on for them, so perhaps coming out of the half, we might have a little bit of a different story here.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see if Norwood can adjust a little bit, but again, I think Westwood's just got some great team speed. Ruby Codrington again, a threat. I think
nice play back. This one goes just wide.
No, that was a well-struck ball, just poorly aimed. It was definitely a dangerous chance for Westwood way out, at the top of the box.
I believe that was Kendall Alden. Was that again number 16 or number 19? It looks like
so.
Courtney Rodig. And so again, Westwood pulling in different girls to play on offense, and they've all been contributing. Allison Wen now working hard against that's Samantha Rose, number 15.
And Westwood doing a good job to maintain possession and sort of switch the field. Oh, that was nicely done there by the Westwood player to maintain possession, and continuing to drive into the box.
And a nice save. Oh, almost bobbled it, but gobbled up by, we believe, Lilia Zaldivar in net. And here's a solid kick away for her that gets over the Westwood player. Athena trying to close in. Now a chance for the Mustangs.
Athena just battling hard, just going to work her way through the entire... And there's Lauren Reen.
Yep, good follow from Lauren, working on the sideline.
Oh, and just possessed there. Strong defense there by the Westwood defender just to...
But Norwood will keep that in. That's Jenna Nauman now. Good chances. Here's Lauren Reen again. Now plays it back. Smart pass there to Jenna. That's Maggie McDermott, number 10. And Norwood still trying to keep the ball. Still trying to keep the pressure on.
There, I believe.
13, a lot of good teamwork here for the Mustangs. This one goes just wide of Kaylee Brown. It doesn't quite find the sideline, and Westwood trying to control some fancy footwork there for them.
But that was a nice series from the Norwood girls. I think they strung together some passes. They didn't panic with the ball on their feet. Just really well done there.
It is a different feel this second half, doesn't it, Eric?
Yeah, I definitely think, I don't know if necessarily an entirely different feel, but certainly the start of this half feels much better than the end of the last half, right? I think
that is true.
Norwood's definitely come out with some energy.
This ball goes past midfield, I believe that's the call.
I think that.
You are not allowed to do that.
I think you are right about that.
And looks like the official explaining that. And that's the case. Waving the Norwood team back, almost like an air traffic controller. Here comes Westwood. Strong drive by Sienna Horn, who's been one of the anchors on their defense here.
It's Ruby again.
We've learned Ruby Codrington is dangerous, in addition to the host of Westwood offensive players.
Olivia Bedard there trying to bring that ball out of the air and did a good job bringing it down, but just challenged immediately by Allison Wen.
Good ball from Allison, and now a nice play in front of the Norwood net.
Lauren Reen coming back and trying to touch that ball through to
this one will bounce
Maggie.
And controlled by the Norwood keeper. Strong boot there from number 2 for Westwood, Maura Hennessy. And a sky-high ball from...
Let's see if now Maggie McDermott can run on that. Oh, and a
nice
chip
play.
Up over. See if handled easily there by the Westwood D, but still challenged by Athena.
Oh, and Samantha Rose goes down hard, and there seems to be a call. And she will get it from the 40 if you heard the ref.
Yep.
A very decisive call from him, which is always nice and a benefit to us here in the booth.
So yeah, one thing they might miss about having Livy in net right now, she's got a strong foot. She could put the ball in the box from out here. Let's see if Jackie and Kylie
Rose.
McDonough are able to drive the ball in.
I'm sorry, yes, that is Kylie.
Oh, wow.
There's a nice boot.
Just a little too wide, but yeah, she's got a foot.
Yeah, absolutely. That one, a solid line drive kick. And Norwood will have some substitutions come in. That looks like Carolyn Boussiere coming out, along with, is that Kaylee Brown subbing out?
Yep, and I think maybe it looks like Emily Seco coming in.
Emily, number 14.
And then, and then Sophia
Venditti, I think, is coming in as well, number 20. So some good chances early on here in the third quarter for the Mustangs. I say early on, there's about 8.5 minutes still to go, so we're about halfway through it, I'd say.
Oh, that took a nice little lucky bounce.
Westwood now with a chance. Norwood hustling back.
Yeah, Kylie McDonough doing a fantastic job to rush back and just bother the Westwood player enough that I think she send the shot wide. So
yeah, I think you can almost put the save on Kylie there as that ball just goes wide. Olivia did a nice job of kind of covering that side of the net, kind of being aware of that angle.
Yeah, it's coming off far enough off her line to sort of cut the angle down. I mean, there's so much about playing keeper is instinctual, but it also you got to be coached to it, and if you don't play it regularly,
there it is again.
Yeah.
We saw the exact same thing as she chases that ball goes to the side, and it looks like Norwood will earn a goal kick.
So it looks like that's Abigail O'Leary on the far side there for Westwood, who's no, I apologize, not a 4, that's an 8. Ava Press, no, wait, well maybe she's also the backup goalkeeper. I'm not sure. Ava Preskinis was the one who's, I think, had those 2 shots so far.
Yeah, 2 goalkeepers on the roster for Westwood. Allison McCabe, number 13, is one of the keepers. She's a sophomore. And Ava Preskinis is a freshman. She's a keeper, as the Norwood keeper makes a save on that one, going down to her knees.
Yeah, nice job there by Kayla Macy to split the defenders and get the shot off. I think she just, unfortunately for Norwood, she shot it right at Livy, but Livy handled it well. And
strong one run for Samantha Rose, who almost outran the ball. She was moving so quickly. Here's a challenge to the sidelines by Sophia Venditti.
And then that ball again up there to Ava.
I'd like to see the number of steps Kylie McDonough has taken for Norwood. She's been doing a ton of running here, and the same kind of thing. She's been challenging to that sideline, and Westwood has been putting it wide of the goal. So if that's something that Coach Wagner was talking to them about coming out of the half, well, we've seen it.
No, they've definitely, Westwood's definitely still threatening, but Norwood's doing a pretty good job of defending as a team. So
yeah, I don't think you're ever going to make this Westwood offense not threaten. They've
yes.
been really, and it's whoever they've subbed in. We've seen. We saw Courtney Rodig, number 19, with a strong boot on the net. That, in addition to Ruby's been very strong. We saw Anna Raftery with a goal, Kendall Alden with a couple strong drives.
They just subbed Allison Wen, who's been around the ball a lot, doing some good things with it, was just subbed out for a Westwood goal scorer, number 23.
Yeah, Lilia Sherburne has a goal as well. She has the 4th Westwood goal.
Yep. So, there's definitely depth and talent on this Westwood team. Not that there isn't on the Norwood team as well. Don't mean
very
to
true.
Be, but
Yep.
So there's
some good
Julia
hustle
Mace
for Norwood,
working hard.
number 10. That's That's Maggie McDermott. Maggie now, a nice job controlling that one. That was a tough play. I'm sorry, that was 18. That's Julia Mace.
Yep. So
Julia subbing in for Norwood. So nice to see some fresh legs coming in.
Absolutely.
Athena Alexopoulos still out there. She's had a strong third quarter so far, really keeping control and giving Norwood some chances on offense.
Yeah, no, she's a very solid player. Like, works hard. Seems pretty fearless. Like, she throws herself right into things. She and Lauren Reen, I think, work pretty well together.
They seem to, yeah. That's going to be a strength. Number 24, it looks like, subbing in for Westwood. And that also looks like number 15, Anna Raftery, is back in. Here's Livy Bedard on the sideline, one of the leaders for the Norwood team, number 19.
Substitution.
And yeah, Norwood will run a substitution. That's Jenna Nauman coming off.
And Kaylee Brown coming in.
I believe so. Yeah, we saw Kaylee a little bit earlier in this quarter, and she's back in after getting a short rest. I think at this point we've seen pretty much all the Norwood girls take the field, and almost the same can be said for the Westwood roster.
Yeah, I think both coaches are doing a good job of getting all their players chances out there. So
experience, I mean, that's what it's all about. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of them are even thankful to be playing soccer, even under these modified rules right now. Credit to the ADs for making it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the Tri-Valley League for coming up with this home and home series, so that if something were to happen and there was to be a case on one of these teams, then at least it's just Norwood and Westwood who've been exposed, and not not three towns. And
yeah, really nice to see that we're actually out here in a beautiful day like this. Nice to get some soccer in there. It looks like she'll be called for it, but that was Jackie Morales Munoz.
I'm not quite sure what she was called for, since she got all ball, but okay.
No, she just kind of stood her ground, it looks like.
Yep.
Maybe Lilia Shelburne got the worst of that. She's hopping around a little bit, but she picks her feet back up.
It's going to be a drive right on net.
Wow, there's a strong kick. That was Maura Hennessy. She had like a little bit of a hop there and then gave it a really strong boot. She looks like a really solid player for Westwood.
Yeah, Westwood right now, unfortunately, they're just first to every ball right now. They're really doing a good job of
Here's a chance for Westwood, and
calling it offsides.
They will, yeah. Norwood giving it chase. They were ready. I like that they continued to play that ball. They didn't just take things for granted that it was going to be offsides.
Yep. No, it's never a good idea to assume that the linesman saw what you saw.
True, and that's a really nice thing. The fact that that Norwood is continuing to fight really hard here. They're down 4-0, where you have about 2.5 minutes remaining.
Nice job there by Samantha Rose to come around and win that ball back. Oh, Jackie does a good job taking that right out of the air and finding Norwood feet. See if Sophia can now, unfortunately, not able to make a turn. Well defended by number 5 there, Ariana Katzman.
Jackie Morales Munoz has been one of the stars on defense here in the third quarter for Norwood. We thought it might be in goal, but as a defender, she's been excellent, and that's really encouraging from one of the freshmen on the team.
Yeah, no doubt.
Norwood and Westwood both sporting 5 freshmen apiece. That bodes well for both of them going forward.
Absolutely.
In fact, one of those freshmen on the Norwood team, Lauren Reen, we've seen a lot around the ball on offense.
Yeah, no, she's definitely a very talented player, and I think with her skill set, if she just had a little more size, she's a a varsity player. I think she's really got some talent there, and I'm sure we'll see her up on the senior squad by next season. I would be surprised if she was down here much longer, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely talent. Kylie McDonough with her speed and defending so well, and Athena battling so well up top, and Samantha Rose being so versatile. She's playing very strong in the midfield. Great keeper.
Samantha's been around the ball even this quarter. It seems like she's got a magnet in her foot for the ball, whether she's the keeper or whether she's playing midfield.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
This ball goes sky high in the air, and that's Lilia Shelburne with a bunch of Norwood players around her. Erin Reen keeps her cool. This one goes just under the elbow of Samantha Rose, and Westwood will reset.
Sophia Venditti out there to challenge.
And Sophia, another one of those strong-looking freshmen for the Mustangs.
No.
This one, I think Jackie meant to kick it with her other foot there, but regardless, Westwood does not have a perfect chance. Trying to turn it into something.
closed on quickly by Norwood, but Westwood still with the ball.
Leah for Westwood with a strong ball across the middle of the field. Really kind of made a chance out of nothing. About 2 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Once 2 minutes hits, the refs keep the time down on the field, so we are not quite sure exactly how much time remains, but we're definitely getting into the closing minutes here.
Yeah, it'd be nice if Norwood could keep this up and keep a clean sheet for the quarter.
Definitely, I'm sure that would give them a little bit to feel pretty good about. And it looked like Leah, who I think we can pretty safely assume is the keeper right now, was thinking about booting that one away. And the ref will signal the end of the third quarter, it appears. Eric, we're through three quarters, and nice to see Norwood put up a goose egg on the score sheet for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we saw a lot of good things from the Norwood girls, and it's nice to see that they're not hanging their heads looking at that scoreboard. They're continuing to battle and do good things, and it's great.
Absolutely. That's good coaching. That's good kids on the team, and we've got a good match. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in just a little bit after these messages on NCM.
On behalf of the Alliance for Community Media and our foundation, we want to congratulate Norwood Community Media for their excellence and work in 2019. And we also want to congratulate the town of Norwood for investing in community media that reflects the needs of its people. You do great work every day and every week, and you should be proud.
It's a sign of our commitment to the town we serve. Norwood Community Media is honored to receive the Alliance for Community Media National Award for Overall Excellence. For our weekly Norwood News, hosted by Kristen McDonald, Norwood Digest with Jack McCarthy, Your Town at Work with Jerry Slater, Sports Extra with Mark Hoover and Joe Meehan, live broadcasts of town events, and gavel-to-gavel coverage of town government. The station people turn to for trusted local coverage. Norwood Community Media, your home for all things Norwood.
Do you want to stay up to date with Norwood Community Media? Then subscribe to our weekly NCM newsletter. Every Friday, our promotions department publishes an online newsletter that highlights the work of NCM and the latest happenings. It includes the full episode of Norwood News, recent clips from NCM programs, behind-the-scenes photos, and so much more. NCM works hard to deliver a steady stream of Norwood content, and this newsletter is another way to stay connected to Norwood. To receive the newsletter, just visit www.norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Scroll to the bottom of the page, click the Sign Up for Our Newsletter button, and enter some basic information. You'll then be added to our newsletter mailing list. It's all here on Norwood Community Media, your home for all things Norwood.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to the fourth quarter of action here from Murray Field in Norwood. The Norwood JV girls taking on the Westwood JV girls. It is 4-0 Westwood. Joe Panola, Eric Bodenhofer back with you for some more action.
And Kayla Macy once again with that speed, driving through the heart of the Norwood defense, but defended well and sent the other way. And then I think she was called for a little too physical trying to get that ball back.
It's been a physical game so far, but the refs have done a really nice job of being on top of it.
Yeah, and I would say it's been physical, but not in any way chippy or dirty. It's just the girls playing soccer pretty much the way it's supposed to be played, and normally would be, I think, under non-COVID rules.
That's true. We always have to have that caveat under the non-COVID rules.
Oh, nice little ball there through from Lauren Reed. See if Samantha can run onto that.
She does. Here's a chance. Samantha trying to make something happen. Now works it back. That's Sophia Venditti. Still around the ball for Norwood, but Westwood does a nice job trying to eliminate the chance.
Kylie McDonough stepping up there to send the ball back in. And
that's number 12, Kristen Tadewitz for Westwood. I apologize. It looks like I've been saying Layla Shelburn's name wrong the whole time. I was noticing that as we were just about coming back on air. I've been transposing a couple of the letters in her name. So one of the goal scorers for Westwood. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't think you're the first person in this box to mispronounce a name.
Oh, I'm sure.
The first time I was up here, I was getting texts from a friend giving me the phonetic pronunciations of boys on the varsity soccer team, Norwood team, because I was getting them wrong. So
that's it. But we're happy to be coming to you live on NCM, and glad, even though that you can't be here in person, glad that you can still join us through our feed online or through your local TV channels. Here's a battle in the far corner. A couple of Norwood players around it. There's Mariana Warrington for Westwood.
Yeah, Kylie McDonough did a great job to beat Kayla Macy back to that ball and then make the turn, and then Kayla Macy, to her credit, did not give up and was able to dispossess her and keep the ball down there for Westwood. But good battle there between two really strong, fast players. So
it's interesting you mentioned fast, because I feel like when we've been talking about speed today, it's been Kylie McDonough for Norwood, it's been Kayla Macy for Westwood, and the two of them battling. Not a surprise.
No, not at all.
Here's a nice move by Kayla again. She puts this one on net.
She was going to want that one back on the finish. I think she was
she
was maybe a little surprised to suddenly find herself so because it took kind of a funny bounce, and she ended up with Jackie on her back rather than in front of her, and suddenly had all this net to shoot at, and I think just
and Livia Zaldivar almost kind of saw that play developing for a couple of seconds. She was ready. She basically didn't even have to move.
No, absolutely not.
Now she puts this one up in the air. I think we're going to have a bouncer here. We do, playing it with her shoulder, which I guess is kind of what you're going to teach these girls these days. Is Kristen to do it.
Definitely not do it with the head. Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be a little closer than it was. Livy did a nice job to get out there and shield the ball away from Kayla Macy, who, with that speed,
she's come out firing here in the fourth quarter. We've got 13 and a half minutes to go, so still pretty early on. Now the Norwood keeper tries to give it a drive. Westwood looks to set something up. Nice step there.
That was a nice little move.
Wow.
You don't see ball skills like that at the JV level very often. That was impressive.
That was Layla Shelburne for Westwood. She has a goal, and after watching that, it's no surprise why.
Absolutely. That's a nice drive from distance there by the Westwood defender, number 20, Julia Huff. Yep. I think that's 20, right? Did I get that right?
I believe so.
Yep. Yeah, she's a strong defender. I've noticed her shut down a few Norwood chances, and it looks like
another drive on goal, and
she's coming quite a ways up from her defensive position, which that's something that you don't also necessarily see all the time at the JV level. I think sometimes at this level the girls are so cognizant of their defensive responsibilities, they're not as comfortable jumping up into the play on the offensive side, and
you kind of have that tendency to stay back a bit.
Yeah.
But she has. It's nice to see her taking that step there. And Livia Zaldivar has been tested early on. She's been up for the task, though.
She has. She absolutely has. And a little battle down there in the corner. I think that was Caroline Boussier and number 12 there for Kristen Tadewitz. Tadewitz. I don't know how to say that. Battling in the corner.
Yep, and we've seen Caroline get involved in a lot of those battles, and she seems to be one of the anchors on the Norwood JV defense. Mm-hmm. But again, a lot of girls subbing in and out. We've seen some positional changes, which is nice as you get to know some of what your other teammates' responsibilities are.
Oh, nice drive there by Kylie.
This one is
Lauren can
corralled
find
by
the-
Lauren Reen. Tries to take a step, but right with her is Ariana Katzman for the Wolverines. Again, some strong work for Westwood, but Norwood, the gaggle of players around the ball. Here's a drive that
Oh, unfortunate for Libby. She sends it out for a corner.
Olivia wants that back, I
Yeah,
think. But,
yeah. But again, the goalkeeper is not her regular position, and handling a ball, skipping at your feet with some English on it, I think is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, you're so used to trying to control it with your feet. Now all of a sudden you can use your hands.
Right. Absolutely. Now I remember coaching at the youth level. You'd put a kid in the net who would make kick saves on everything, just because they were so used to.
Yeah, it's just in their blood, I would imagine.
Oh, Jackie does a nice job to close in on that and send it back out for the kick in.
Yeah, they will redo that one. Nice play by Jackie stepping up. Well, they won't quite redo it right.
Yeah, they don't get the corner again, but they get the a kick in from pretty much the same spot, and I think it doesn't change much of what you're going to do.
Nope, Jackie's gotten a lot of run here as a defender in this second half of action. She puts this one up sky high on the side. That was, it looks like Maggie McDermott trying to control that for Norwood.
Poked out again by Jackie. She really calling her name a lot. She's playing very well.
Nice ball up from Lauren.
To Maggie. Oh, and then Maggie to Athena, and she's got Lauren with the overlapping run. And just couldn't quite connect.
But that was kind of that third pass, Eric, that you've been talking about. That they strung a couple together. We saw Lauren up to, I believe, Maggie, and then over to Athena there, getting those passes strung together for the Mustangs. Nice to see them developing that.
Absolutely. It was nice to see the girls making the right runs off the ball, too. Not just standing and watching, not running to a space that was not useful or...
Nice work there between Jackie and her keeper to snuff out that chance.
Yeah, I have to say, Jackie looked very casual with that whole thing.
Yeah.
She seemed like, where's the ball, our box, what does it matter? But
usually those alarm bells start going off
exactly.
with that. But it's nice to see a defender kind of have that calming presence.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm sure we'll see that on the varsity level where their defense has been one of their strong suits. Mm-hmm. Here's a chance for Westwood. Right around the ball are a couple Norwood defenders.
Yep. And the number 11 for Westwood was offsides by about 6 yards for that entire time. She didn't touch the ball, and so there wasn't necessarily, or she wasn't making a play on the ball. But yeah, I think.
The ref hustled out there pretty quickly.
Yep.
He's gotten some good exercise in the early going. This ref has been energetic, very vocal, really nice to see, and he's doing a nice job.
Sophia trying to get on that, couldn't quite get there, and we've got Layla again. Just really good ball skills.
Yeah,
brings
she
that
really
ball
has
down,
very
makes
good
the
ball skills.
Oh boy. Oh, no.
Oh, nice job coming out there.
Yeah, Olivia, nice way to be aggressive and snuff that out.
I don't know what kind of drills Coach Wagner is doing, but her keepers are aggressive and they stand up in the face of pressure, which is great.
They definitely do.
And again, keepers with an S, because we saw Samantha Rose playing well in there in the first half of action. Olivia Zaldivar in there for the second half, and we've seen other girls take that position as well.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have. I mean, I know talking to Coach Wagner at the beginning of the season, she was a little concerned that she didn't have a natural keeper on the team. No one who really viewed it as their position. But and she asked for volunteers and got a few, and I think she got some quite excellent volunteers.
Absolutely,
based on what we've seen over the season, and certainly what we've seen today.
And that's how you get involved. If you're not locked into one position, there's usually going to be a spot for you, and that's really nice to see. About 7.5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter of action. 4-0. Westwood with the advantage over the Mustangs JV girls.
Oh,
soccer.
well done there by Kylie again to stay with that and get the ball through.
She stays on her feet there. I don't know how she didn't fall over there.
Know.
Nice footwork. Westwood now trying to come back, and a lot of talking on there from Westwood. We can hear them with the windows open in our booth. That's number 5, Ariana Katzman. We've heard a lot from her in the second half of the game today.
Samantha Rose working hard there and finally managing to disrupt Westwood's flow enough to win the kick in.
Yeah, she's zigzagging left and right, and now still has enough energy to kind of pop up and keep that hustle going. Now trying to get something going on offense, working with Carolyn Boussiere.
Little miscommunication there. I think as to exactly who was going to take that initially, but
And this one still just rolls out of bounds. Almost a chance for number 8. That's Ava Preskinis for Westwood. And yeah, number 8, now that we get a better view of it, she is, it looks like, or at least according to the roster, the other keeper for Westwood. So that appears that it must be Allison McCabe in goal for the Wolverines, who's been doing a nice job today. The girls will hustle down now as...
I lost the ball. It was sitting on the Norwood
midfield
logo. I was like, where is the ball?
It blended in a little bit there. Coming out to play it is Allison McCabe for Westwood, and now she gets it up to another Allison Wen.
They've got numbers, some speed, and there's the through ball.
And this one will go wide.
Whew.
Ooh, that was a close one, and really Jackie was working hard to kind of correct that. Was that Carolyn Boussier?
Yep, who was able hustling to back and just maybe the Westwood player heard some footsteps and didn't quite get the solid strike. But yeah, that was very dangerous for Westwood there.
I think if Caroline didn't hustle the way she did, it could be 5-0 right now.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And so, sometimes saving a goal is just as important as scoring one. Here's a strong boot. You heard that contact off the knee. Actually, that is Allison McCabe out there for Westwood, number 13. I'm sorry. So they may have switched keepers.
Yeah, not sure. And I don't think we're going to be able to do the process of elimination with the Westwood keeper.
I doubt that, but Westwood has had their players switching in and out as well, so credit to Coach Comer for Westwood.
Yeah, and I do think it feels like he's recognized that this lead is well in hand. You don't see. I haven't seen Ruby out there for a while. Haven't seen I guess Allison Wen's out there. Haven't seen Layla. I think maybe he's giving some kids who normally play midfield a shot up at striker, or kids who play D a shot at midfield, because you got a lead. Why not give kids a chance to try something they don't normally do? And
not sure if this is Mary Comer's first year as coach or not, but she seems to be doing a nice job of getting her team prepared.
Absolutely. No, I mean, there's a talented team. Like, they seem very comfortable with the ball at their feet. You're seeing them do, some moves that you're not necessarily seeing from all the Norwood girls.
From Julia Mace.
That was really well done. And she finds Lauren, who finds Samantha, who's trying to put the ball forward to Athena.
Really good hustle for the Mustangs, and they will... This won't get out of bounds, and we heard our crowd, our small but mighty crowd, starting to get into that. That was really nice.
I'm thinking now, actually, wait, did you say you see 9 out there? I'm thinking the keeper might actually be Ava, because I thought I heard someone yell, "Nice job, Ava," or
maybe
something.
Maybe that could be. I thought I saw 8 clearance. On the there's 8 on the field.
Yeah, but I think she's 9, right?
No, she's
8. I'm sorry, I apologize. That's her grade, not her. Yeah, my fault. You're right.
Here's some work on the far side of the field. Giving it a look is Athena. And also Jackie Morales-Munoz around that. Yeah, like we were saying, a lot of these freshmen getting a lot of run for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and making the most of their chances. They're playing well.
That's it. And that also says some things about the leaders on the team, those older kids on JV. Alina Parra, one of the juniors. Kylie McDonough, one of the juniors. Olivia Bedard. The fact that you can have leadership from them, and those freshmen are able to develop into the strong culture that they have in Norwood. Absolutely, and I think it's nice. It's great. I know that the Norwood varsity coaches have been leg. Yeah, it was gobbled up by Olivia. Yep. The Norwood varsity coaches have been making a point of coming to JV games, and I believe the teams are practicing together. Not necessarily like they come together and do their set the drills or whatnot, and then go off. But I think it's great for the JV girls to see. What being on varsity is like. It's great for the varsity coaches to see what they've got coming up in the pipeline with a little more, Yeah, that's how you build a program, and they're doing a good job of that, and hopefully, we see this team in the next couple of years really start to take those strides. Lauren Reen battling hard there. Good battle from Lauren. She wins it. Oh, and tries to make the turn, can't quite do it, but well defended there by trying to get it to Julia Mace now. Yep. Julia giving really good hustle. But I think one of the silver linings of the COVID season has been the fact that normally the soccer teams play right after school, and the JV and the varsity games usually happen at the exact same time. So as a varsity coach, you can't ever watch your JV compete. All of a sudden, these are the girls you're going to be coaching the next year, and you've barely seen them play. Right, but now you get the games
back on one another, so you can come watch the girls. You can even coach some of the games.
Definitely.
So I think that's definitely been something that Coach Brinklow has taken advantage of this season, and I think from what I can tell, there's been great communication between the JV and varsity programs, and they're really working to build a system and a culture, and
especially for a freshly minted coaching staff, which
right.
I believe it's the first year from
top to
Coach
bottom,
Brinklow and Coach Wagner, and
Yep.
for them to have that advantage in the early going is important. Here's a drive and a chance for Westwood again, a nice save by Norwood.
Yeah, Westwood starting to bring the pressure again.
They are. And again, that's different girls out there. There's 19, Courtney Rodig, and a strong run from her on the side.
That was nicely done.
Oh, she wanted it. She
Yeah,
wanted it.
she
You
did.
could tell. She kind of put her hand up
Yep.
and had a little bit of energy, that extra step that's so important.
So we got a substitution. Looks like Julia Mace coming off.
Julie's been running so hard wherever she's been on the field.
Absolutely, working hard. I think it's Maggie McDermott getting checked back in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Julie, another one of those freshmen on the team, and someone who's really trying to work hard and work herself into that rotation, which is great to see.
Yep. Handled nicely there by Allison Wen, and then dispossessed quickly by Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie has that calming kind of attitude on defense, and you
is-
know what? She got it out of there.
Yeah, she
Nice
did.
job.
I mean, that was a great, just kicking it back up over her head, and and that's the game.
That looks to be the end of the game as Westwood will come out and celebrate with their keeper. Westwood wins it 4-0, but Eric, for Norwood, a clean sheet in the second half, which was a really positive sign for the Mustangs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a clean sheet in that third quarter, even more impressive. But yeah, the fact that they kept them out of the back of the net for the entirety of the second half was great. And not just that, right? They didn't just bunker. They were still taking it to Westwood as best they could. So that was good stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anybody gave up. They didn't worry about the score, and that's great to see. So credit to both of the coaching staffs getting different players a chance here. I mean, Westwood's offense was impressive, but Norwood has some things that they can hang their proverbial hats on. So, we hope that you will stick with us in a little bit as at 11 o'clock the varsity match will happen. That will be the Mustangs of Norwood against the Lady Wolverines of Westwood. And we will have the call with you from NCM in a little bit, so hang with us. But we're glad that you could join us for this JV girls match. They will continue their season with their final match against Medfield next weekend. I'm not sure if they've announced the times yet.
Well, and they also have a game tomorrow in Westwood, right?
Correct.
So,
I'm sorry.
Yep. So,
yeah, so we can't look too far past Westwood, as they will be back playing Westwood tomorrow, and then they will be back with another home-and-home against Medfield next weekend. So 3 more games on the schedule for the Mustangs, and hopefully we still see the same kind of energy that we saw today. Thanks, folks, for joining us wherever you are, and we hope you'll stick around to catch some varsity action. Take care.